Okay, and you all have already had prayer, so we will just dive right in. And we're supposed to start at verse 16 of chapter 16, right? 16 of 16. So, as we've been, looking at Proverbs for a while now, and so we've been kind of grouping those verses together that kind of fit, because that gives you a little more clarity and understanding of what Solomon was doing. For those of you who may not know, Proverbs is a collection of sayings that were put together under the direction of Solomon. Okay? Now, whether or not he did them himself personally is highly doubtful. Why? You think I say it's highly doubtful?
So many.
Huh?
So many.
No, not because there's so many. Anybody? Huh? Because what? You gotta talk loud. I can't hear you.
Tell us.
Oh, you said tell you. Because he was the king. And usually, you the king, you tell somebody to do it, right? I mean, you might have added a little bit in, but you the king, he ain't sitting around as the king all day long. Let me do this right. Solomon had like over 400 women. You think Solomon was messing around with some Proverbs? No, I don't think so. Okay? But, he did commission, he did anyway. Okay. All right, so let's look at Proverbs, all right? Now, if you look at 16, 20, and 22 is where we're going to go right now. So verse 16 says, how much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver. 20 says, he that handleth the matter wisely shall find good, and whosoever trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. 22 says, understanding is a wellspring of life unto him that have it, but the instruction of fools is folly. So all three verses focus on the same concept, and that is the value of wisdom and understanding and the application thereof, right? You think about it, that's what all three of them are saying. Now verse 22 adds a little caveat in there, which I like to just hold off till last, because let's focus on the first part, then the second part, all right? So, what does it mean to value wisdom and apply it? What does that mean when we say, it's so important? I shouldn't say, what does it mean? I just tell you what it meant. Why do you think it's so important? Number one, to value wisdom. That's what this talks about, right? It says wisdom is very valuable. And to apply it. It also talks about the need to apply wisdom. It's two simple things. Yes, it absolutely does save you trouble. And so why is it so important to value wisdom? Well, simply this. That which you value, you will hold dearly. Right? Things you don't value, you don't seek out, you don't hold dear to you. Okay? Now, one would think that people would value wisdom. How do we know that most people don't value wisdom? Because what? Right, she said it right. Because there are so many fools out here, right? And they love drama. Right? So most people don't value wisdom. How many fools do you know? Everybody know at least 3 or 4. That means what? They don't value wisdom. People don't. People value gossip more than they value wisdom. And we all know that gossip is rarely true. But that's what folk value. So if we had some good gossip going through right now, you all would walk out the door. If somebody came here right now and said some good gossip about what was happening in the parking lot, y'all be gone. Okay? You have to check on it. You might come back, but you're going to leave first, then come back.
Only if you went out there would we follow, because we are your flock.
Yeah. Okay. Now tell me there wasn't about 3 little bears. Since you got all these fairy tales. Yeah. So he said what? So wisdom is essential to value. But not just because if you value it, number one, you will seek it. Secondly, he says, what you value, you may put into play. Because if you don't value wisdom, you won't put it into play. And I can tell you, when you think about the foolish mistakes people make, it's not because they have not been given a wiser choice. It's because they decided not to apply the wiser choice. Okay? And let me give you a quick example. Okay? And again, please don't take this personal, because it's not meant to be personal. But if the shoe fit, then what you gonna do with it? Wear it. Wear it. All right, now. Let me give you a classic example. Right? For example, how many of you have been told that it is wise to save money? Now I ain't gotta say no more, do it. Right? Because how many of us really save money? Don't even lie to me either. So don't even raise your hand. How many of us really save money? Okay? Give me a couple of 2 or 3 of y'all. About this, right? When I say save, I don't mean put away $2 or $3. That's what I'm talking about. I mean save a minimum of 10% of your income. Minimum of 10%. Now, if you're old as I am, it ought to be more than 10%. 10% is where you start at when you're young, 25, 30 years old. Once you get older, it ought to be more than that, right? If you owned your house over 10 years, you should really be saving about 15 to 20%. Now, why do I say that? No, even if it ain't gone, but the deal is this. If I buy a house, let's say I get a 30-year mortgage on my house, right? A 30-year mortgage. In 20 years, it's going to almost be like paying nothing. Right? Because of the way the market goes. Right? For example, like the first house I bought, which was a long time ago, right? My mortgage, like $400. And what if I had the same house? I don't have the same house today. But if I had that same house, I would have a mortgage of $400, right? But my salary kept going up. So I should be able to save more money, right? I'm just using that as an example. So to know and not do is foolish. So Solomon says that we should not only have wisdom, but it's important to apply wisdom. Then he says this on the end of at the end of it. He said, now the deal about reason why he said you should value wisdom. He said because the worst thing you can do, and that's in 22. In what verse? Yeah, 22. He says, but the instruction of fools is folly. Right? But the instruction of fools is folly. So isn't it odd that he would start out talking about how it's great to apply wisdom, and then just take a left turn and say, but the instruction of fools is folly? Why do you think Solomon would throw that in, or have it thrown in?
Because people with wisdom still do foolish stuff.
Because people who lack wisdom always follow what fools say, rather than follow. That's what it is. Because for some reason, people don't mind following a fool's advice. Now, how do you know when you're following a fool's advice?
The moment you start having a conversation with somebody trying to tell you about something that don't work for them.
No, because half the time they ain't trying to know it. What did you say?
Foolish things.
A fool does foolish things. Why would you take advice from somebody who you know does foolish things?
Because you're that fool.
Huh?
Because you're that fool too.
Right. She said it, because you're the fool too. Come on up here and teach me. I think we sit down. But you know how true that is as to how many people will take the advice of people who they know do foolish stuff? Why? They've already demonstrated that they are a fool. So why take their advice and do what they say? But people do it all the time. Because here's what fools can do. They can talk to you like they know what they're talking about. And they always do, don't they? They're always so assured of themselves. And so we end up, you know what, that makes so much sense. Let me think I'll try that one, yeah. Okay? So what's the moral of that story? Don't take a fool's advice, because if you do that, it makes you a fool. And start valuing wisdom. Really, he says that wisdom is of greater value than gold. Start valuing wisdom, because having gold does not keep you feeling good about who you are, but wisdom will. Okay? Then we have 18 and 19, because we've already covered 17, right? So now we're 18 and 19. And here's what it says. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before fall. Right? You know what haughty means? Yes? No? Maybe? Tell me anyway? Okay, I'll tell you anyway. Okay? Arrogant. Right. A haughty person is one that thinks they are superior. Okay? Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. I'm gonna deal with 18, then deal with 19. Even though both of them kind of say the same thing, I'm gonna do it in stages, because 19 it messes people up all the time. Not meaning that they don't understand it, meaning that they foolish enough to do the opposite. Okay. Now, the first one is straightforward, right? That the key to prosperity is humility. Now, I'm gonna give you a simple thing about humility that will enable you to at least be prosperous. Okay? And arrogance, why arrogance don't get you anywhere, right? Now, you ever try to negotiate with somebody, like to buy a car, things like that? Now, here's what prideful people will do. They will negotiate from strength. Okay? They know everything, so they can negotiate. That's the stupidest thing to do. Now, I can tell you that. You know why I can tell you that? Because I taught negotiation off state. I also taught it for the Navy. The best way to negotiate is from a weak standpoint, not a strong standpoint. But see, when you got pride, you want to show the person you're negotiating with that you're so great. Okay? Now, I used to negotiate $1 million contracts. $1 million contracts. And taught negotiation. I would always walk in stupid. In other words, this is how I walk into a negotiation. Sir, I'm going to tell you right now, you know more than I know. That ain't the question. You got to convince me in a way that I can convince my boss.
Makes sense.
Convince me in a way that I can convince my boss. Now, automatically, now the price going down. Because he know good and doggone well that he can't support what he's telling me that it costs. But if he's telling me, he think he can get away with it. But how it's going to look, just like if your kid was trying to convince you to buy $200 shoes. See, your face was like, what? You done lost your mind. So already the person knows what? That ain't going to work. I better come correct. Same thing when you negotiate in a car. Right? Just tell the guy. Simple. Convince me. Don't tell him. Tell him to convince you. When you negotiate for humility, you get more, because people start to then think about you differently, and then they try to help you. When you're arrogant, they don't try to help you. They try to compete against you. Just that simple. Okay? So that's why he says what he says about that pride and a haughty spirit before a fall. Okay? And that it's better to be humble so you can get more out of people, because people don't like prideful people. Okay? And so that's the first thing. So there's nothing wrong with being humble. There's nothing wrong with letting people not trying to show yourself as being great. Okay? Bottom line too is this. If you got to tell me you great, you should have shut up in the first place. I don't care what you say. If you are great, people will say like being smart. You don't have to prove to me you're smart. It'll come out anyway. You don't have to tell me how smart you are. I will see how you act and see how smart you are. Right? If you broke, I can't think you're smart. This is a difficult thing to do. You know, you think you're smart and you ain't got what I got. Right? But that's what people want to do. And the second thing he says is this, is that the worst thing you can do is think that your importance is based on who you hang around with. Okay? Because what Solomon says is this, is that oftentimes what we will do is we pride ourselves being connected with other people that we think are up here.
Amen. Amen.
So we think if we can be around those people, if those people can accept me, it says I am somebody. And Solomon says it's the dumbest thing you can ever do. Now he's the king, and he's saying it. So if the king says it, that'll tell you something. He who's up here is saying the dumbest thing you can do is think you somebody if you hang around with me. Because the king knows how he really think about you. Because people who are up here know people down here think that way. So they use you.
That's good. That's good.
Until they don't need you, and then they drop you.
Make you feel like
That's like my job. I mean, it's real intense, you know, because you don't know where I work or what I do. But I just don't like hanging out with them, you know. And some of the people I work with, they're like, I'm going over there with them. I'm like,
Why?
that's their house.
Right. No, I get
You
it.
know, because we work in the operating room, and it get kind of intense, and everybody talk about it. They going to Israel and here and there.
And you
I be
just
like,
going to eat
I'm
now.
going to Ocean View. Making jokes. You know. But some of my friends would be like, shoot, I'm going here and there. So I told her I want to go to business, and she was like, business?
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, because my doctor I'm going to business. They was like, well, go with the doctor. But I'm saying you get caught
No,
up.
but I'm saying, and oftentimes people do.
You don't want me to be-
Because people, number two things, they like to live vicariously through other people, number one. And they think it makes them look better to hang around them people. Okay? Really what that speaks to is a person who has low self-esteem. That's really what Solomon is speaking to. See, people with a low self-esteem feel better about hanging around people who think it makes them feel better or them look better. When you got, like, you have high self-esteem. When you have high self-esteem, that doesn't get to you. You know, it doesn't. You know, I'll give you an example, okay? I was at a function a couple weeks ago, right, where I was being recognized at a function, okay? And so we go there. I don't know, well, I don't think none of you all went. But, no, a couple of y'all went. I think, yeah, Sister Harris was there once. Weren't you there? Yeah, you were there. She was there. I don't know who else was there. But anyway. You were there? Yes, right, Coco was there. She was on the dance floor doing the
Biker shuffle.
What was she doing?
The biker shuffle.
The biker shuffle. Oh, you were there?
No, we said it for Sunday.
Oh, you just knew she was there doing the biker shuffle.
No,
Okay.
you
all
said
right.
it, you talked about it.
So anyway, I'm there, and there's a lot of, people that think they, monkey amongst there, right? And so someone says to me, wow, you're here with all these people. And I thought to myself, what?
Who are you supposed to be here with?
No, these people are here with me.
yeah.
I'm here with all these people. But see, I'm just saying, when you have low self-esteem, you look at it like, wow. I'm thinking, what? Who cared? I could care less about, like even with President Obama. I love President Obama. I love him. Well, anyway, I got invited to a function, and so I'm about maybe maybe 5 rows back from where he's at, right? And so my wife was like, wow, you almost got to touch President Obama. Let's see if I did touch him. That didn't put not one extra dollar in my pocket. Dominion Power still sent me the same thing. What difference does it make? But you know what I'm saying? And so what Solomon says that, listen, those people, generally speaking, don't care a thing about you. So it's better to be around people that genuinely care about you. Because they don't make you better. They just don't. So you stop wasting your time thinking that makes you better. I've never been starstruck, personally. Never been starstruck,
Yes.
Yes.
Some weeks ago, I was sharing pastor. I hang around with pastors, but I'm not a pastor. The pastor told me, he said, "You ain't them." So I got offended, right? But hearing it, what he's saying right now, I understand. You don't need them for me to define, for God to define you, who you are, and for people to see you for who you are. God will supply that. I get it.
It's no, again, it's right here in the Bible now, so you know I won't just bring it up, because that's what it says right there in verse 19. It says, better it is to what? Be of an humble spirit with who? With the lowly. It says, better to be with the lowly than to divide over the proud. Let me tell you something. Here's the thing, and it's really truly, think about this for a second. It is better to be a medium-sized fish in a big pond, in a small pond, than to be a medium-sized fish. No, you're the same size. I'm saying the fish don't change. The pond size changes. It's better to be a medium-sized fish in a small pond than to be a medium-sized fish in a big pond. Because if you are, let's use that example right there. If you hang around a bunch of pastors, you can believe they don't view you like they view each other.
Right.
If you hang around a bunch of people who are deacons,
Right. Amen.
now they're saying, wow, we was hanging out with the associate minister. We were big time in it. Right. And so really and truly, it has the opposite effect. You know, because those people will lift you up more than what? Than all the pastors.
Amen. That's true.
You know? And that's what he's saying. I'm just using your example, you know. And so that's what he's saying. But it's not just true for you. It's true for most people. But again, so it's really a testament to how we view ourselves. When you view yourself a certain way, it changes how you view other people. You know, I can tell you, every year on the mayor sessions, I will be sitting at the head table at his State of the City address. Every year. And I'm doing the whole time I'm sitting up there. I can't wait till this mess over. I'm going about my business. You know. Because, you know, what benefit was it to me to sit up there and do the invocation, opening prayer? What was the benefit? Zero. Nothing. All it meant that I had to drive all the way from Dock Landing Road to down to the courthouse, which is about a 40-minute drive. I didn't get paid for no gas. I didn't, all I got was a lunch, and it wasn't good for that. What's good for? But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Nobody joined the church extra because of it. We didn't get extra money. No, it's of no value. You know, it's just of no, I'm going to say no value because, you know, he did say he and I were friends.
In his mind, right?
He said we were friends. He ain't the mayor no more. I ain't been invited to lunch not one time. Since he is the mayor.
But y'all friends.
But we are friends. Okay. That speaks for itself, don't it?
Well, Donald Trump has thousands of friends.
So he thinks. So he thinks. Yeah, he said today that Fox was no longer his friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But let me tell you something. You know, this is the whole key right here. If my friendship with you is based on you patting me on the back, you are not my friend. Anybody, and this ain't in the text, but since you threw it out, then we'll just throw it out here, you know, because every now and then I got to throw something out that's not in the text, but will benefit you for the rest of your life.
Right.
Okay?
Proverbs.
Any friend, anybody that's your friend, a true friend will put you in your place. Because you're a true friend. That's right. And that's what makes a friend. Because a true friend wants the best for you and don't mind helping you get there. But see, them folk that's always patting you on the back, yeah, you know you right. You know, and then as soon as you leave, what's wrong with that fool? They knew took good doggone where they shouldn't did it. See, a true friend will just tell you, hey, listen, Girl, let me tell you something. Don't wear that. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now. Or a true friend will tell you he ain't nothing but a dog. Leave him alone. Right? Or a true friend will tell the guy, hey man, look here. Let me tell you something right now. She's a gold digger. All right? Her mama was a gold digger. Her aunt was a gold digger. It's running the family. Leave her alone. That's a true friend. Okay? But if somebody got to pat you on the back, get rid of them. You don't want people that are yes people. You don't want yes people. You want people that will tell you honestly, this is how it is. Okay? That's why I love you, girl, because you ain't a yes member.
No. But I'm a member.
You remember though, but you gonna tell it like it is. Especially when you got your cataract medicine. I'm sorry, glaucoma. I must need some cataract medicine myself. Hey look, hey, she got something in the car. Now the gossip is y'all go. I told you good gossip I'm getting out of here. That's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that though. You know what my brother told me? It's got nothing to do with Proverbs either. My brother told me, we went around talking, right? He said, you said that everything God made was good. What I'm going to say to that? All I can say was, I got 4 spades. How many? Let's play. Okay. All right. 21. 21 and 23 and 24. 21, 20. Oh my goodness, good stuff right here. 21, 23, 24. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increases learning. All right, that's not kissing lips. All right, you know what they're talking about? Kissing. They're talking about speaking. Okay, speaking. Right, 23. The heart of the wise teaches his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. All right, 24. Pleasant words are as honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bone. That's a rap right there, ain't it? Yeah. That rhyme. Right? Now, what is he saying? He's saying that people who are wise teach themselves how to think before they talk, and not the opposite. So many people, you know what? Think about how many times you have said something and then said, oh, wait a minute. Or got home and said, man, I should have said such and such. If you go home and say, I should have said, that means you talked before you thought. Right? And that doesn't do you any good. And so what Solomon is saying is, notice what he says, it is not something that comes naturally. He's saying you have to teach yourself to think before you talk. Now, most people, I gotta tell you, most people I know, not only do they not think before they talk, they don't hear before they talk. Because you can't finish your sentence without them trying to cut you off and give you the response. And you got to say, hold on. Can I finish? Can I get an amen? And so if you can't even wait till somebody to talk, we know what? You're not thinking. Because you ain't even listening, so you can think. Right? That's so important. Because here's what we know. Once it gets out, it's too late. You can apologize all you want. It's in the atmosphere. And once it gets in the atmosphere, anything else you say, now guess what we're thinking? You're trying to cover it up now. Because now we know what you, now mind we're thinking, I know how you really think. Now you're trying to cover something up. You know. Well, if you thought about it first, then different ball game. Okay? That makes sense to you? Yeah. Train your mouth. Train your mouth. Train it. You got to train your tongue. Okay? Because he said what? Pleasant words are like, that's the rap song right there. Pleasant words like honeycomb. Sweet to the soul and health to the bones. That sounds something Reverend Wynn would say, don't it?
That's funny.
Pleasant words are like honeycomb. But it does a title, don't it? It's like honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bone. Now, what does that suggest? What is he saying? Solomon is saying, hey, listen, I don't care what situation you're in, if you know how to use your tongue, it will soothe the problem over. It will. It will soothe, because the most irate person can be soothed if you have a desire to soothe them. Now, sometimes with a friend, you don't do that, okay? Sometimes if you guys tell them straight up, hey, I'm sick of you, and this is why the problem is, right? Right? Okay. Now, but, because friends sometimes gotta hurt you a little bit to help you a little bit. But even so, you do it in a manner what that can help them see the light, so they can be soothed down the road, right? Like you do with your children, right? You can. At least what you should do with your children, put it this way. You can scold your child, but do so in a way that they understand you're doing it to help them. You know? And if you do it right, they won't ever feel bad about you scolding them. Because they'll know in the long run it was for their benefit. Okay? Your tongue is according to James, is the most powerful tool that we have. Okay? All right. We good so far? Okay. 26. He that laboreth. How many supervisors in here? Anybody still supervisor? Okay, take this right here and take it to work with you and post this one up over top of wherever you. He that laboreth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him. He that let me tell you something. I wish everybody could understand what that verse really means in a personal matter. Okay? Solomon is saying if you understood why you worked, it would change how you worked. Right? Most people get on a job and forget why they're on the job. Oh yeah, that's why they get lazy. They forget why they're up there. Why are you on the job? Think about it. Why are you personally? This is personal. He said what? He says, he that labor for who? Himself. So this is personal. Why are you really on the job? Think about it. Why? Because you're trying to take care of yourself. Who's the most important person to you? Yourself. Then why aren't you working on the job like you're really trying to take care of you? You follow me? Because if you will give you 100%. But if you really think about it that way, I'm working for me, then you know what you'll be doing? Working without a break. You'll be rolling up in there. He said why? Because what? His mouth craveth it of him. He's saying what? You're working to put food in your mouth. Let me tell you something. Every mother in here understands this concept. Okay? If the deal is this, if I got a child at home, okay, and I gotta work 10 hours to feed that little joker, you won't take a break until you know you have worked long enough to put food on the table. See, if the idea was this, I'm not going to pay you on Friday, but I'll pay you, like say you need your rent. I'll pay you when you get enough money to pay your rent. You'll work non-stop. I'll pay you when you got enough money to feed your child. You'll work non-stop. You won't be thinking about a break because your mind won't be on break. Your mind will be on my kid needs some food. My child needs some clothes. So you work that way. That's what you're thinking. If you're working for yourself, right? That's what it's saying. But we don't view ourselves as working for ourselves. That's why we don't give it everything we got. Your concept is they're going to pay me anyway. Well, I said, I work hard, they're going to pay me anyway. Right? And he's saying, what if you were a independent contractor and only got paid based on what you did? Or, no, you'll be some people working hard. That's what it'll be. People will work differently. Let me give you an example. When you go, like for example, when you go to the barber shop, guys, how often is the barber sitting down? If somebody in there, he non-stop cutting hair. He non-stop, because he don't want you to get up and leave. He non-stop. Hey, where you going? Where you going? I'm gonna be finished in a minute. They roll it, right? You go to a beauty salon, what they do? They put your butt in the, they wash your hair so you can't go. Right? And they're working on 2 and 3 heads at the same time. Why? Because they know what? My money, what's going to go in my mouth is based on how I work. Right? So he's saying that no matter where you are, that's what you should do. Now, the deal is this, is that because people don't do that, they get mad at the other person that is doing it. They always brown nosing. She always brown nosing. Anybody thinking about her? Or thinking about him? Then let that person get promoted. They're really mad. That's why they promoted them, because they always brown nosing. Of course that's why they promoted them. What they gonna do, promote your lazy self? That's the dumbest statement I ever heard. I'm not looking for when I was in the federal government. I'm listening to people act crazy. I'm in my office. I'm listening to crazy people talk. Mr. Daniels, he only promote people he like.
Because they get the job done.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Promote people I hate? That makes a lot of sense to me. Let me promote you and I hate you. Of course I'm promoting people I like. Why do I like them? Because they get the job done. See, if you want to progress in life, Solomon is saying, work like you need the job. Stop working like they can't fire you. That's what we do. Can't fire you. Ain't got to do nothing. I'm telling you this goddamn truth. I had one woman work for me. She used to be a member of the church, but she quit. Which way she didn't quit? She went back to her home church, I should say, because she was Methodist. And y'all was shouting a little bit too much for her. That was back when we were shouting up in here. Y'all don't shout like you used to. Right? Well, see, we used to shout up in here. We don't shout no more. We got solidified. We got enough money in our pocket. When we were broke, oh girl, we were jumping all over the place. We got a couple of jobs, don't even shout at me. Come here. Anyway, she went back to AME church. But anyway, she sat there. She was retirement eligible, and so she would go in her office and turn her radio on and turn it to a Christian station and turn the music on and sit there, okay? And I'd come in there and she would take, the retirement papers, call them, 118s, and she would turn it so I could see it and just let it sit there. To let me know I ain't doing nothing. By the time you fire me, I'm just gonna sign it. It's gonna take you about 6 months to fire me, and it will. It's government. It'll take about 6 months to fire. So you know what I did? So okay, I go in there. She playing the music loud. I go in and say praise the Lord. Girl ain't gonna do it. You know what? Every time she applied for promotion, get that one. I promoted folk all around her. Folks she supervised, I promoted to be on the same level she was on, just to be spiteful. It's a shame to say this, but it was the truth. I sure did. So, she was, I don't know if you know how federal government works. She was a GS11. I had a supervisor in GS11. They were 9s, I promoted them to the levels. The same thing she was at, just to be spiteful. now. And she was like, I should have a 12 because I'm supervisor 11s. I said, you're right, you should have a 12. However,
12.
pray, talk to the Lord about it. Maybe that's why she never met AME. 27, she was hot with you. 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay? Here we go. 27 says, an ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. I should do this one by one.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I should do one by one. All of them say the same thing, but they talk about different types. All of them talk about the characteristics of people you need to avoid. That's really why I group them together. Okay? So the first one says, an ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. And that's saying, let me tell you something, that people will use I won't say lies, but they will use their words to make you look bad and tear you down. They will attack you with what they know about you. Okay? And it's saying, so for these kind of folk, you know, Solomon's saying you have to be weary of them because that's how they are. Okay? Then it says, a froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separated chief friends. And he's saying something similar to that, but it's a little different. Now, that you ever been around somebody that they new to your clique, and when they get in your clique, they get to telling stuff that cause folk that have been together forever to separate.
Yes.
That's what he's talking about here. Them kind of folk that they'll get in the group, and when they get in the group, the first thing they do is start telling you not to like you, and y'all been doing this for 20 years. You know, they'll remind, you know what, so-and-so told me, I don't know if it's true or not, but she told me XYZ about you. Now, I ain't saying it's true, that's what I heard. Now, y'all been on each other for 20 years, and then you'll believe what that new person said about you. And what this is saying is, why would you break up your friendship over something that somebody tell you that you just met 4 days ago? You've known that person all your life. And let me tell you something, that is so prevalent in a church environment. It's prevalent in cliques too, but in a church environment it's so prevalent. I am oftentimes amazed at how people will talk about somebody and give the person that just came credit for knowing everything. Yeah, do it all the time. And I'd be like, but how long have you known the deacon? Well, he's been my deacon for 15 years. Well, you just met them 2 days ago. What you mean? The deacon is saying, well, they said. So what if they saw him at what's the property show?
Upstairs.
Well, so what they saw him in upstairs? The deacon's always going there. That's what the report always Some of them like it. That's why they're bringing it. Cause these are true stories. These ain't fairy tales. These true stories. So I'd be like, wait a minute. You've been knowing the guy for 15 years. This person came in and told you they so much upskills, doing something, whatever. How does that change who he was for 15 years? You know what I'm saying? How does that change who he's been for 15 years? It doesn't. He's been nice for 15 years, right? Been a good guy for 15 years. He's been a wonderful deacon, and somebody told you that, well, I ain't know y'all deacons go to upscales, and you saw him at upscales, and now all of a sudden he ain't good no more? See, to me that makes no sense. You know, none whatsoever. You know, why, in other words, why am I judging somebody else by what you tell me? Right. And even I'm gonna throw another bug in there. Even if I don't know, why am I judging them by what you tell me? Because I don't know if you're telling me that because it's accurate or because you just don't like them. And if you don't like them, you're gonna tell me something negative about them. You're not gonna tell me the good stuff about them. So why would I believe you? But people are prone to do that. And if they don't treat me bad, what Solomon is saying is, I should not respond to them based on what you said. I only respond to them based on how they treat me. Because they might have did something bad to you, but that don't mean they'll do the same thing to me. You may have deserved what they did to you, but didn't tell me the truth about what happened. Because you want me to get on, your side. So my premise has always been, I don't care what you tell me. I really don't. It really don't matter to me, number one. Because I'm always judge about what you do to me. See, I don't care what you do. People say to students all the time, I saw this going on. I said, how you know? How you know why they was holding hands? How you know? Really? How you know? Well, one of you because I know he got a girlfriend. How you know? Huh? How you know? Was you at Econo Travel? And if you were there, did you go in the room with him?
What was you doing?
Right. I'm serious. Because you don't know. Right? And so, well, anyway. Why would I change my whole opinion about a person based on what you just said if I've been knowing them for a long time? So Solomon is saying what? Be careful about that. All right? Okay, we good? All right. 29. A violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into a way that is not good. Okay? That's saying, listen, don't let folk get under your skin. Yes. Don't let people cause you to go down to their level. Because that's what they are trying to do. You maintain your cool the whole time. I don't care how crazy they're getting, you maintain your cool. Let me tell you what make a person listen, I'm telling you this, it's just FYI. I'm not saying try it, okay? It's just FYI. If you want to make a mad person madder, act like you glad. When they're cussing you out, just start laughing.
That's true.
That is so funny. What you say about me? Girl, I ain't heard it in a long time. That my mama used to call me that. Really, she called me that. She did. Because she said that my daddy did XYZ, so that makes me just what you call me. Lord Jesus, okay, God. If you act like it don't bother you at all, it drives them crazy. Now, don't do that, but I'm just saying. But what this is saying what? Don't let them cause you to be like them. Because that is what they want from you. Okay?
But that's hard. It's hard.
It's hard? Why do you say it's hard?
Because people know, well, some people, if they're coming at you in that way, they kind of know your triggers and they kind of know what can set you off. So therefore, you have to kind of like be in control, and you have to like if you're about to get into a fight, you have to like brace yourself. Not saying that you're about to fight, but I'm just saying if you know a person coming to attack you that way, you have to be ready to brace yourself to even think, let me laugh it. Like, well,
let me help you out just a tad, okay? Let me help you just a tad. Because I can tell you me, personally, see, I'm a very calculated person. I won't even yell at you unless I've already calculated to yell at you. I won't. So if I ever raise my voice at you, it's because I've already decided to do it. I thought through it firmly and said, you know what? This is the best thing to do. Or it's best for me, what? To be quiet. Now, here's why I'm telling you why. I've read Solomon several times. I read Proverbs several times. I'm a student of Proverbs. Because Proverbs helps me understand how y'all think. So now that I know that, I already am assessing characteristics all the time. So now I already know you. I know how you're going to come at me if you want to get me. So since I already know that, it's nothing you can tell me that's going to surprise me. You follow what I'm saying? You know, so I'm saying, because see, nobody's going to attack you that you don't already know how they are. A stranger ain't going to walk off the street and start just attacking you on something that gets under your skin. The only people that can get under your skin are people that know you. And you know them. You follow me? So like I know my oldest sister well. And so I know exactly what she's gonna use to try to move me a certain way. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready for everything she can throw at me.
Practice.
Huh?
Practice.
Well, I just right, I practice, but also I understand it. People in general, you think I don't know these folk here? Every shepherd knows his sheep. You know your sheep. So I know those that say things to me to get a rise out of me, right? And so sometimes I'll help them. I do. You know why? Let me tell you why I help them. Because I want to make them feel better. Yeah, I know your sheep. You want to make them feel better. Because some of them, that's what they're see, if I notice your motivation, I'll go ahead and let you feel like you got under my skin. Well, you helping the person out, right? For example, I mean, y'all don't see me in action as much as like he does, right? Think about how many times we'll be in a staff meeting and I'll say something and then 2 seconds later, I'll be laughing, right? I don't have all the time. Because I've already calculated this. I'm already saying, you know what? Let me mess them up right quick here. Then next thing you know, I'll bust out laughing. Right? And you know what they be thinking then? What this fool? Is he mad? Is he happy? What is he doing? Then I leave, and I'll say this to him. I'm gone now. Y'all talk about me. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Y'all. And then I'll ask him to come back. I'll say, I'm coming back. I walk in. Okay? Because I know you can't let other people dictate your movements. You don't let people dictate your movements. You are in control of your movements and your actions all the time. I can be angry and you will never know it. In fact, few people know when I'm angry. Very few. I can't think of nobody here to know when I'm angry. There's only been one member in this church that I can truly say understood when I was angry. And here's what she said to someone else who thought I was angry. She said, he's not happy right now. She said, well, how you know? She said, because he's smiling at you. But she knew which smile meant, I'm sick of you now. And which smile meant, I think you're stupid. Because I got more than one smile. But she caught that, and so she told the person, you all know who Beth Robertson is? It was her grandmother that said to the other person, oh no, he's angry with you right now. Because she was wise enough to pick up the differences in how I smile. And so she realized, that. But most people don't. Because I generally speaking, I rarely show what's in me. Because only I need to know what's in me. I mean, you know when I'm happy because I'm laughing. Right. Well, not really, sometimes you do. Like sometimes I come in here and I'm feeling horrible. And those are the times when I might laugh the most with you guys. And then y'all leave, I go around study and I'll tell them, y'all go in and lock up, I got it. And I just sit back in a chair and just for about 5 or 10 minutes just nod out. And then get them leave.
Conquer your emotion. I say you conquer your emotion.
It's not hard to do. See, you probably have too, haven't you? 80%? 95%, see? Yeah, it's hard to do.
But this is kind of
I told you to teach the class, come on up here. Go ahead.
It's kind of hard when you've been doing it the other way, though.
Well, no, it's okay. Remember what I said? How did we start off talking? What was the first thing we talked about tonight?
You got it.
No. Wisdom.
Wisdom.
For the value.
It's nothing is hard when you know the answer to the problem. Right? Algebra is hard till you learn algebra. Calculus is hard till you learn formulas. Geometry is hard till you understand the concepts. Everything is hard when you don't understand it. The more you understand it, the easier it becomes. See, the idea of being able to control your emotions is not being able to control you per se, it's understanding people. The more you understand people, the less likely they can get under your skin.
Can't play the game, you don't understand the rules.
Bingo. Right.
Boy, I feel so good when you finish cussing them out.
Because as she said, you don't know the rules to the game. See, okay, if you understand people, you don't always, I mean, I say jokingly, I can't really like get see now so I can cuss y'all out. It's just a joke. I don't really mean it. Okay? Now, I might do it, but it's only a joke. And I will probably do it just to get a laugh. So when I get about 75 years old, and I'm a little senile, I'm going to get in the pulpit one day, and I'm going to just start cussing somebody out. I'm going to do it just to get a laugh. It ain't because I'm mad at somebody. And here's the thing. I'm just saying this. The reason why I say that it is, y'all mind if I go ahead and respond to this because it's almost time to leave. Okay.
Of course not.
Here's the thing. When you know people, the more you know people, the less likely they are to make you angry. When I say no, I mean really no. I know, generally speaking, who is intelligent and who is not. Okay? I'm being serious with you. And you do too, you just don't think this way. Right? If a 3-year-old says something bad to you, would you curse the 3-year-old out?
It depends.
No.
Yeah,
No. If the 3-year-old was doing something and acting like a 3-year-old, you wouldn't curse the 3-year-old out. Because it has no effect on the 3-year-old except what? To just demean that person and make them feel horrible. You don't do that. See, when you see an adult, your thought is they are an adult. That's not how I think. When I see a grown person, I don't classify all grown people as adults. You see, so I'm saying I'm dealing with a 12-year-old. They just happen to be 45. I'm dealing with a 60-year-old who act like a 7-year-old, so I'm treating them like a 7-year-old. See, I'm treating you based on not your chronological age, I'm treating you based on your intellectual age. And when I do that, it's easy. And I'm judging you not by my standard, I'm judging you by Proverbs standard of where you should be. Because my standards don't mean nothing. Right? I'm not God. But if I judge you by Proverbs standards, it changes things. Because then I can see, well, you don't know about it. You don't. Like, why would I curse out a dog because he tried to get the food? What does I think a dog to do? But try to get the food. I'm getting mad. Why are you here eating out the food? You know you could have waited. It's a dog. Right? Same thing, like I said, I got a brother, right? He said what? God said it's good, right? Why am I gonna get mad at him if my $20 missing? I know who he is. So if my $20 missing, I don't get mad at him. You know who I get mad at? Me. I say, fool, why in the world did you need $20 out here for him to see? Couldn't doggone well. So I don't get mad. Because that's how it is. Okay? All right. That's 29. I'm gonna do 30. I'm gonna let you go. All right? I know y'all packing up. I'm gonna let you go. Just want to at least get through 30. Okay? He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things. Moving his lips, he bringeth forth evil to pass. All right? He's saying, listen, this is the kind of person that will shut out that which they know to be good, because their desire is to act like bad is good. And I'm sure you know people that it seems evident to you, but in their heads they have already said, you know what? That ain't it. So they shut out the good so they can do their dirt, and they'll call, and to them, their dirt is good. He's saying, when you know people, see, that's how you, in Proverbs, see, when I know you like that, I know to shun you. And I know when I'm around you, that's who you are. So therefore, anything less than that, I'm disappointed. If a liar tell me the truth, I'm disappointed. What in the world you doing telling me the truth? You've been lying to me for 35 years. You trying to mess my head up? Be yourself, lie again, all right? Now I feel better. You know, you follow what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. You be done hid all your money, and then they come, they don't even want to borrow nothing. You say, well, I done went through all that hiding my money. Okay? You follow? You really, y'all get what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. Okay then, listen, that's it for tonight then. All right? So we'll do 30, 31, 32, we already did 33, and then we'll get to, what, next chapter? Right? Chapter 17, we're moving pretty good, right? Chapter 17. All right.